Good afternoon, Genitals. This is your commissioner here, Bradley J. Rogers, with assistant Tucker today. With week one in the books, we have a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and get into our first matchup, the fantasy football team versus Crush It Hard. This is your official week one breakdown. A battle between the first and second pick teams for the first week, and of course, it does not disappoint. But Andrew has to be disappointed in the performance of his first pick, Saquon, who was projected at 17.2, but only put up a measly 9.6 in a heartbreaking defeat Monday night. Whereas Chris's first pick seems to be a shining white knight. C-Mac putting up 26.9 on the new Las Vegas Raiders seems to be a good sign for things to come this season for him. But it seems that both teams need to find other players to fill up their backup roles. With Chris's other RBs only putting up 7 points combined, he might need to look for some trades or a pickup. While Andrew might need to look in acquiring a QB so he can utilize that super flex position. This was a close game, and it literally came down to the second to last game of the week, with Chris sliding by with a win, 173-62 to 172-26. Now on to a matchup that has grown into a full-blown rivalry over smartphone choice and trade raping. Dylan versus Gav. For Dylan, he had Jacobs power through with a sensational performance of 33.9, and Thielen is now showing us that he's the only receiving option, and Minnesota drops 28 points. But Dylan's team now has to mourn the loss of Thomas for a few weeks and figure out how to stream defenses. Gav has a little bit of a tougher time as only 4 of his players put up double digits this week, and 1 was his kicker. Jones and Lamar seem to be looking back into form, but Gronk is not looking like a smart pick now as he only drops 2.1 points in his first outing as a Buck. It might be time to put Minshew in that super flex as your team has a lot of holes, Gav. Score 140.76 to 123. Gavin's new name is Trade Rape Me, Daddy. A tale as old as time, Colby losing. But there is light at the end of this tunnel for you, Colby, as Clyde and Dalvin look to carry the workload on their respective teams. But with Connor only dropping 2.7 and seeming to have gotten injured Monday, you'll need to fill that gap as soon as possible if you're wanting to succeed for the remainder of the season. The Seattle wide receivers look to be a great duo for you as well, as long as Russ performs to the MVP caliber that we know he can. And as we can see, Bradley's dude crew of running backs seems to have carried him to victory this week with strong performances from both Gordon and Kamara, as well as another TD-less Jones performance. But really, the true heart of his team lies with Mr. Rogers, who put up 32.76 in his first game. And of course, Bradley still has Patty that's going to just keep wrecking teams this entire season. 169.7 to 148.14. Now let's get serious, Genitals. Here at HQ, we do not condone abuse, a zero-tolerance policy on this matter. But we have to discuss the spanking that occurred from 1 p.m. Sunday, September 12th, all the way into the twilight of Monday, September 13th. I am here to say that even though me and the manager Brad are the same person, we are completely different entities, residing in the same vessel. With that being said, I'll keep this short and sweet, unlike what my alter ego did to you, Nick. Looks like Brad really did have an A-plus draft, especially with his later round picks, as both his QBs dropped well over their projected. Raheem is showing that he is the new face of the run game in San Fran, and Juju and Ridley having breakout games, dropping 21.9 and 29.4. But Nick also had some okay performances by his kicker and QBs. Zeke is still Zeke, but now rocking a sweet new stomach tat that literally is what Nick was screaming at his TV this Sunday. Nick will probably need to rethink his tactic with his roster and acquisition, as well as needs to get in contact with our HR department. Score 210-16 to 154-16.